I have made one, if not the largest AI battle simulations involving more than 8,000 soldiers that had to learn all by themselves how to fight and what the strategy to success is. And let me tell you, they seem to actually have learned some pretty cool tactics. As you might remember, in the previous episodes I have presented you the Warriors, a strong melee unit with an ability to block attacks using their shields, and they were able to put some really good fights for our entertainment. But today they have a much more difficult challenge to face: the Musketeers. Channel OGs might recognize this legendary soldier class from the first season of A.I Wars, which, by the way, go watch if you haven't yet. But let me just tell you, our boys Musketeers have been fully reworked for today's episode, so let me quickly introduce them. Musketeers are highly mobile, semi-ranged units, which means that they no longer can shoot a target at the other end of the map. But instead, they have been blessed with an AoE attack that can wound multiple targets simultaneously. Their move speed allows them to keep a safe distance from their enemies, as well as chase any target that thinks surviving is an adequate option in this simulation, teaching them that getting unalived for our entertainment is their best and only option. Yeah, if one day AI will turn against humanity, I'm screwed. I'm definitely at the top rows of their hit list, but hey, we all got a cross to bear, and yours is to smash that like and subscribe button if you don't want to wake up with a Pogo army knocking at your door. Yes, that is a threat. Great, back to the Musketeers, who are like a spam email blast. Targets everyone, but only scams your grandma. I guess screaming "this is not a scam" at the bottom of a scam message can really work wonders. While Musketeers can target multiple enemies, they deal very little damage, meaning they have to cock their gun way too many times before they can unalive an opponent. Moreover, just like a school bully who seems strong, they actually are extremely fragile and insecure, and can be taken care of by a single sword slash or just 2 bullets John Wick style. Lastly, Musketeers aren't able anymore to simply shoot at will. Instead, they must perform another action called aiming, during which they can't move, and only while aiming they can actually fire their guns. In order for you to get a better understanding, here is a detailed comparison of the Musketeers stats versus the Warrior stats. So, low HP, low attack damage, but high range and mobility. All the soldiers will have to learn all by themselves how to walk, fight, and die using the magic powers of machine learning. In case you still don't know what machine learning is in 2025, I bet you're still waiting for a reply from that Nigerian prince relative you have. But don't you worry, this is an educational channel after all, so let me explain. Machine learning is the intricate process in which a machine learns. Great! Now that we're all on the same boat, it's time to start the training. As always, in the A.I Wars series, our training starts in the mosh pit. Since the agents are rewarded for dealing damage and punished for receiving it, getting spawned in close proximity will help them get an idea about the rules of the game, while randomly spamming their actions. It didn't take them too long to realize that they must GTFO from the spawn point unless they want to get the stabby from Warriors. However, they're still not that good at aiming yet. About 100 rounds later, and these dum-dums learn they can move away from the immediate danger and spray the crowd with a bullet barrage. Pretty impressive, so let's get them to the stage 2 of training. Now, the spawn points have been separated, but the distance is still relatively small. While the Warriors are still quite dumb and haven't figured out they must approach their targets, these spinning boys are constantly trying to 360 no-scope their opponents. After 60 more rounds of training, we can already see some movement from the Warriors, but they are still a very long way from success. A whole night of training later, and we can see some decent progress where the Warriors are actually able to chase down the Musketeers and even win some rounds, since the Musketeers haven't yet figured out they must constantly keep distance from their opponents. So let's move to training stage 3. Now, the distances between the spawners are even bigger, and the spawn positions are randomized each round. Let's just say it was a bit confusing for these dum-dums at start, but soon after they got a grasp of the new, ever-changing environment and decided to throw themselves off a cliff. Lol. few more rounds in, and we already have something we can call a decent fight, where after a heavy skirmish in the middle, the remaining warriors try to chase off the Musketeers, who are finally running away from the melee opponents. At this point, I did not change the environment anymore and left the AI train for a few hundred more rounds, and after about 100 hours of training, here is the first final result. We will start with just 2 teams of 10 Musketeers each, and we will increase the number of teams, the amount of soldiers, and we'll mix up the soldier types as we move forward. Unlike the fights against warriors, here Musketeers know they don't have to run, and after taking a good position, one team in front of the other, they start unloading their weapons. The first blast seemed to have eliminated 90% of the red team, who were all stuck together, while the blue team, who took a more spread out approach, lost only 4 soldiers. Despite only 1 red soldier alive, the blue team is playing it cautiously and not rushing it. They take it slowly until this brave fighter decides to take one for the team and sacrifices himself while also eliminating the last opponent. It's funny how the entire team starts acting so brave after the only threat was taken care of. I guess everyone's a general after the battle is over. The second round was even more devastating for the red team, getting fully destroyed after a single blast from the blue team. Also, I love this winning dance they perform after a successful fight. Alright, up to the next battle, where we will have 25 Musketeers in Team Red against 50 warriors in Team Blue. Just look at this perfect strategy execution. The entire team of Musketeers is spread in a line formation, each taking care of their chunk of warriors, stopping at a proper distance to aim, fire and retreat before the warriors manage to score a hit on them. Warriors are desperately trying to catch up with somewhat of a weird tactic. They move with their back right before getting close enough for an attack, and that's when they actually turn to strike. Since Musketeers are aware that warriors can only strike in front of them, this might be an attempt at deceiving them, so that they think, well, this guy is turned with his back, hence he ain't an immediate threat. Well, this could theoretically work. I doubt it has any benefit when the entire team is doing the same thing, lol. That being said, warriors still managed to score several kills, so props to them. This poor yet brave fella must be traumatized and suffering from the survivor's guilt, seeing all of his friends perish in front of his eyes, so he decides to rush against all the odds and end his agony. Once again, we observe the winning dance by the Musketeers. Nice, but don't relax just yet. How about we keep same 25 Musketeers, but make them fight 500 warriors this time? To my astonishment, despite losing some comrades along the way and obviously a much bigger threat, the Musketeers still managed to keep a calm mind and follow the strategy, eliminating the approaching enemies. This time, due to the sheer amount of warriors pushing them, Musketeers have been cornered to the edge of the map, and some of them even lost their cool in front of an apparently dire situation. But despite losing more than half of their friends, the Musketeers still ended up victorious and didn't forget about their celebratory dance. As a reward for their bravery, I decided to double the amount of warriors to 1000, while keeping the same 25 Musketeers. This time, our brave red fighters stood no chance against the overwhelming wave of enemies, and got quickly engulfed by the blue army. However, warriors, who remembered all of their fallen heroes and who know the true price of peace, did not dance after winning. Instead, they regrouped as if waiting for another battle. Before I show you the final massive fight between 3 teams, I wanted to try out some other smaller scenarios like this one, where Team Red will have 2 spawners, 50 Musketeers each, surrounding only one blue spawner of 100 Musketeers. I was expecting Team Blue to focus only on one of the flanks while getting smashed from the other side, but I was quickly surprised when they not only managed to split their teams in two groups to cover both flanks, but even emerged victorious from this battle. That definitely wasn't just a fluke or a random occurrence, because the next round they relied on the same strategy and it proved to be hella successful. Just look at this brave fighter, who despite being the only survivor is still pushing towards his imminent death in an attempt to avenge his friends. Alrighty, time for the last and biggest battle yet. We will have Team Blue and Team Green be allies, both consisting of 500 warriors who will fight hand in hand against 100 Red Musketeers. Similar to previous scenario, Musketeers decided it is best to separate into two groups, each focusing on one of the enemy teams. Due to the sheer amount of units, it ended up pretty laggy, but the stuttering will be over once few soldiers get killed, so bear with me. After eliminating the main chunk of enemies, Team Red actually decided to regroup, joining forces against the remaining attackers as one unified army. And once there were just a few survivors left, it was time to turn the tables, and Musketeers started pushing, seeking out the remaining opponents. Except of this one guy, who again, after remaining completely alone, decided to take the matter into his own hands. That's about it for this video, and if you want to try out your own scenarios in this simulation, I plan on releasing this game this year on Steam, but the demo is already available for free to my Patreon subscribers. Huge thanks for supporting the channel, you are the legends. Lastly, I would like to take a few seconds and show you some of the awesome art you guys posted on Discord. We have a very talented community, so consider joining the Discord channel. While you're waiting for the next video, consider checking out the previous episode of A.I Wars, where I made warriors fight each other in epic battles. Bye!